Welcome to another edition of It's a Long Beach Thing. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and like us on Facebook and on Instagram. We're on both platforms. We have great dialogue on both, so make sure you follow on Instagram and on Facebook. Well, do you know that Long Beach has a professional football club, soccer? I didn't know until about a year ago. So I'm like, I got to bring the owners on and talk about this because the city and the surrounding areas need to know about this football club. So I'm bringing on Sebastian and Willie, the owners of the Long Beach Football Club. Welcome, guys.
Thanks, Paul. Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate you
Paul.
having
How
us
are
on.
you? Thanks, Paul.
Right on. So talk before we really dive into your football club because we're definitely going to talk about that first and foremost. But I'll start with you, Sebastian. What is your ties to the Long Beach area?
Yeah, I migrated to Long Beach. I started off across the pond is how people say it, right? I'm from Belgium, from Europe, and I came to Long Beach to study at Cal State Long Beach, and did my master's program in sports management. That's also where I met Willie. He was in the same cohort or the same learning team. And yeah, that's how I ended up in Long Beach. And I moved into Long Beach right away. And then recently or a couple of years later, I was moving out, moving to a different city. And then I just moved back last year. And I gotta say, it feels good to be back. I miss the ocean breeze, Second Street, Shoreline Village, everything. It's been fun.
Right on. Willie, how about you? What's your ties to Long Beach originally?
Yeah, I'm originally from Fresno, California, and then I got recruited to run track at Long Beach State. And I spent my 4 years there, and then I essentially stayed. And then that's where I met Sebastian in our master's program. I was trying to figure out what was next with life, and joining the sports management program that he and I were in was kind of the next step for me professionally. And then, yeah, I just kind of stayed, right? Southern California versus where I'm from, a little bit easier on the weather, especially in the summertime.
Yeah.
But yeah, kind of became a man in Long Beach, right? Started paying bills in Long Beach, got my first apartment in Long Beach. So Long Beach is definitely like a second home.
So you said that you're an athlete, but you were in track.
Yeah, I ran track in college. I played soccer all the way up into high school, but ended up running track in college. Yeah,
Oh, so you did play soccer in high school.
yeah, played soccer in high school. Yeah,
Okay, right on. Okay. So obviously you must be pretty darn good to be able to run track at a Division One school. So talk a little bit about that mindset that you needed to have to get to that level.
yeah, it was a lot of discipline, and track is one of those sports where it's you versus you, right? And it's really cut and dry. It's really black and white. Either you jump farther than somebody, or you don't. Either you run faster than somebody, or you don't. So taking that mindset into other aspects of life has been really beneficial for me. And then even a lot of the relationships that I've made along the way, right? A lot of those guys that I was on the team with are now like family to me. So, but yeah, to compete at that level was definitely a challenge, but definitely learned a lot.
And a lot of these races, I would imagine, are minutes, if not seconds. So it's like you have that much time to perform at that level. So talk about that mindset that you need to have in that situation, because I would imagine there might be a lot of anxiety going, man, I'm preparing for this race that's going to last minutes, if not seconds.
Yeah, it's moments, right? You're really prepping for moments, and I always kind of stayed behind the mindset of it didn't matter how fast you ran before that day, it didn't matter how far you jumped before that day. It was who showed up the best at that meet at that time. You know what I mean? So if the race was on July 7th at 7 p.m., it was about who was faster at that time or who jumped farther at that time. So yeah, it's one of those things where you had to come up clutch and in moments because what you did before that moment and what you did after that moment really didn't matter. It was about what you did in that exact moment.
Was there a ritual that you have before a match to get you mentally prepared?
I was a big oatmeal guy as far as my breakfast. I think it's just from growing up, something that my mom always kept around the house. My mom and dad kept around the house, so I was big into oatmeal. It's like a pre-track meet ritual, and then music from time to time. But I think oatmeal was really more so my ritual.
And anything you did mentally to prepare for a meet?
Yeah, I started seeing uh, a sports like psych person, probably like my sophomore or junior year. And one of the things that I started integrating with her was like visualizing moments before. So I would take, if we competed on a Saturday, I would spend like 15 or 30 minutes on a Friday before just visualizing my races next day or visualizing the jumps that I would take the next day. Just so when it came down to it, the next, that next upcoming meet, it was almost as if I had relived it or as opposed to feeling the moment new. But yeah,
Right on. Sebastian, did you play any sports growing
Yeah.
up?
Yeah, I did. I played soccer since I was, I think, like six, seven, probably six. And then during summer months I did some sailing, and during winter months I did some skiing and snowboarding. So I kind of switched it up a bit. Yeah. But soccer was the one year round.
Soccer is soccer your
Yeah.
first love then, as far as
It
sports is
was.
concerned?
Yeah, yeah. It was and it is. Yeah, yeah.
So how far did you go into your soccer career?
I can't say I went as far as Willie in Willie in track. Yeah. If anyone from Belgium would listen to this podcast, I guess got to stay humble, right? But I was just on an amateur team. I stopped playing around 18 years old competitively, and then I switched to Sunday League. And Sunday League overseas is just, it is what you think that it is. You just meet up with a couple of buddies and you get some drinks afterwards, and then you just hang out for the rest of the Sunday. So, but that was before I came to the US, and then in the US, I kind of struggled a bit finding a team, or just finding ways to play the game. I didn't really know how to get connected to teams and all that, so that's kind of where it stopped for me, to be honest. Yeah,
Mm, okay. And when you were, I mean, obviously you're playing until you're 18, so obviously you were playing soccer at a fairly high level. That's a high school level. So
yeah,
and soccer like, is a
yeah,
very grueling sport, as you guys
yeah.
know more than I do on that. So what did you do mentally to prepare for a match?
Yeah, to be honest, I never really got very nervous for games. I would get more nervous at school to, do like tests and all that stuff. But for soccer, I didn't really get too nervous. One thing I did enjoy doing was just listening to some music. On the way to the game, once I was in the locker room, I wouldn't put headphones or anything on. I wanted to chat with the guys, chat with the team, with the coach, and just start getting into that in that game day feel. I didn't want to isolate myself. I kind of just threw myself in the group, and then that's kind of what I did. But I didn't really have a specific ritual, no weird habits or anything. Yeah.
So would you say when you before a match you were excited?
Yes, no, definitely, definitely. The older you get, the more excited I would get to, keep track of stats a little bit. How am I performing this season? And just like all week, you're kind of looking forward to the weekend just because you're going to play a game, a competitive game. And yeah, that's how I felt. And especially if it's a local team that you're facing where you know a couple of the guys on the other team, it gets a bit more fun. But yeah, definitely. I would always live towards those games. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. The reason why you weren't nervous or you had anxiety is you had excitement, and that feeling
Yes.
of
Yeah.
excitement is the same feeling that we feel when we have anxiety. So you
Yeah.
already were able to flip it. You probably didn't even know it, but you already flipped it,
Probably, yeah.
saying that you were going to have fun, you were going to have a good time. And I think probably Willie will probably talk about that a little bit. Seeing a sports psychologist, I'm sure she spoke about that a lot about changing that nervous feeling into saying that you're excited as opposed to I'm nervous. Correct, Willie?
yeah. Instead of like living and dying in the moment, it was trying to really enjoy it, right? Especially, I mean, you work so hard. You work so hard Monday through Friday, or even throughout the duration of a season. So really being able to sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor in the moment, while they're happening is really
Yeah.
important.
And really look at more of the process of it as
Yeah.
opposed to the results. If you look more at the process and do the process, the results are going to happen. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you get up there, either whether you're doing a soccer match or you're running track, if your thought process is, if I don't win, X, Y, and Z is going to happen, that's just putting way more pressure on yourself as opposed to yourself going, okay, this is the process. I'm going to do this, this, and this, and whatever happens, I'm gonna hold my head up high because I followed the process. And more times than not, if you follow the process, a good result's gonna happen.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I think we had one of the years I was in college, they were renovating our track, and we had to we had to drive to Golden West from Long Beach every day for practice. And it was one of those things where we could have made it an excuse, right? But like you said, like we kind of dug into the process and made it our own, and made a home of it, a home away from home, and still was able to generate some really good results as a team together. So yeah.
Right on. So obviously, with both of you hearing your guys' story a little bit, obviously athletics and sport are in the top of your love and your priority.
Yeah.
So you guys get together at Long Beach State. Um, Talk about the process of even attempting this, of getting a professional team together. Because I've never even thought about it, but I
Yeah.
can't. I don't think it's probably the easiest thing in the world to do.
Not at all. It actually started with a blog post, and we were just I was actually just looking for a team, right? Remember I was saying like I was struggling to find teams to play out here, so I was looking for ways to get involved in soccer, and all of a sudden I saw this article about a group of friends on the East Coast, and I think Stockade FC is the team name. Um, and they just started a team, like an amateur team, group of friends, like 4 or 5 guys, and they went through the leagues and they were very successful, and they still are. Um, and that article inspired me, so I put it in the group chat of the guys from our class, a couple of the guys from the sports management program, and Willie jumped on it right away. He was like, I think within a minute, he liked it, and he started texting about it. He started texting me separately even about the article, and that's where the idea kind of started. But it's definitely hard. I don't know, Willie, if you had any how you experienced that, but yeah,
Well, I posed the same question to Willie.
yeah,
Obviously, this is a big task that you guys are uptaking, which I love it. You're taking action and you're doing something about it. So, Willie, talk about your perspective of it with the article, or if there was something before that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's perspective, right? And I think it's really important to make the distinction that Sebastian and we've come a long way, but our team is still a semi-professional team. But when Sebastian has sent that article, it was one of those things where it's like, oh, this is possible. Like this is real. It had numbers, it had charts, it had budgets, it had all these things. So it made me feel like it was possible. And I think Sebastian and I are both were in a point in our times of our lives where we were like, man, everybody has ideas, everybody talks about ideas, everybody talks about doing things, but that tries to them happen. Who like who jumps out on a limb and is willing to fail. And so when I saw it, I was like, this is something that I would love to be a part of. Just very much like Sebastian. I mean, I started playing soccer in kindergarten, so definitely my first love as well. So we were just kind of like, if we're gonna do it, we might as well go for it. And if we're gonna do it, we might as well do it now because the way we thought about it in 2023 was that into 2023 was that the Club World Cup was coming to the United States. Messi had maybe just got to the United States. San
yeah.
Diego FC in the MLS was just there. So there's 30 MLS teams. And then the World Cup is coming. So we were like, hey, we need to be established in Long Beach before all these things happen so that we can kind of ride the wave of the popularity in the sport growing in the United States.
Yeah.
So what was your first step? Okay, so you're like, okay, this could be possible. What was the
Yeah.
first step you did to start the process of getting a team together?
Um, I think we initially started with, just research, right? Just looking stuff up. Is it even feasible to have a team in Long Beach? Are there enough people in Long Beach to support a club, to support a professional team? That was an easy yes. It has almost 500,000 people. There's no single professional team as of today, I believe, in Long Beach in any sport. So it
That
was
could
that
change soon, though. Baseball's
it
coming.
could. There you go. Yeah, I did see that article, and that's exciting. And I hope there's many more sports that come to Long Beach because it's such a big, thriving city, and we deserve teams. We need teams, and we deserve them. We have great sports bars. We're just missing the teams to, for their to support them now, and that's kind of where it started. But we did translate that to the practical side, and we did jump in. We took the plunge and we just identified a league to join, and then we kind of went step by step. Okay, we identified the league, then we're like, okay, where do we find the players? We need a whole tryouts. We need to find these guys. We didn't have any players. We even had chats with sponsors before we even had a team and a coach. And some of the sponsors, which we're definitely grateful for, they helped us out right away before we even had anything. We only had a logo and an idea. Um, and then yeah, we found a coach, and then that got the ball rolling. Like, yeah, pun intended, I guess. But that yeah, that's and then we joined the league and we started off. But yeah, Willie, you talk about the season, maybe how that started, or however the however we got started, basically.
Yeah, like Sebastian said, it was, I think the first time we had a meeting was we went to Panera Bread and we sat
Yeah,
down and like talked about what we were gonna do. And to Sebastian's point, we started with trying to find the league, and then from there, once we identified the league, it was like, when are we gonna actually join it? Um, and that's when we kind of put pressure on ourselves to make it happen in 2024. And yeah, I think like Sebastian said, we didn't really have much other than our logo. We worked on our logo, and then we eventually we had a moment where we were like, hey, we're gonna need content, right? So we put together a
yeah,
photo shoot, and with that, we were able to kind of launch with some press, and that helped us find our jersey sponsor. And then
yeah,
from there, we said, hey, if we're gonna get a sponsor, if we're gonna represent Long Beach, we're going to be a soccer team in the city, we have to start with Legends. So
yeah,
Legends was the first sponsor that we had that really backed us and had our back when we didn't really have much. So just obviously, really very much thank you to them, because without them, it wouldn't be possible. But then we kind of
yeah,
floated into the beginning of the first season in the spring of 24.
So you get Legends as a sponsor. I'm sure you got more sponsors now, but at that point you didn't have a coach
yeah.
or a team together. So was the next step to get a coach to help you recruit? I would imagine that was the way, or did you get a team first, then coach? How did that come about?
We went. We started out with a open tryout, and we had a coach that was he's still with us today. His name is Jaime, but his kind of perspective was like he wanted to be more of like an assistant coach. But he was there for us when we needed his help in our first ever open
Yeah.
tryout, which was a story in itself. Funny enough, but once we got the ball rolling from there, we picked the roster together, and I think we got about 2 or 3 games into the season before we found our first head coach. His name is Eddie Soto, and we hired him. He's the head coach at Cal State Dominguez, actually. And after
Yeah.
that, after we started working with Eddie, our trajectory rose significantly. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would imagine some of his former players are on the team now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did a great job in recruiting and solidifying our team. Yeah.
Now, does you said semi-pro? Does do they get paid? Or how does that work? Or is it are they working? Is basically everybody working for free right now, or how's this working?
Yeah, yeah. So we are really relying on volunteers on the staffing side. And then the players do not get paid. So the league we're in, it's not really common for players to get paid. It's still semi-pro. So like amateur is kind of the other term you could use, but it's a lot of kids that are still in college, young adults. Some of the guys that just graduated from college and are, they still want to get active. So it's a mix of that. But then the next step would be that professional one. But to answer your question about pay, the only person right now that we are paying is the coach. Yeah.
Mhm. So with this league, is there players that I'm sure there's some players that are a little bit more elite than others that may be able to use this league as a stepping stone
Yeah.
to get paid in another league. Is that could that be something? Is that has that happened in this league before?
Yeah, 100%. We even had one or no, two or three examples of this past season, guys that were doing really well on our team, and there was a league that was considered a level higher that scouted them and made them an offer. So it's great to see that we're able to push these guys towards a professional contract. And some of those contracts might still be considered semi-pro, but at least they might be getting paid or they get even more exposure through those teams. It's definitely a step up. So we're really all here for promoting our guys. Willie does a really amazing job on the social media aspect of our team, and he really showcases all the guys their strengths, all the players of all the levels. And yeah, I think that really helps in getting a lot of eyes onto our team, a lot of views online, etc. So yeah.
So you have this team, and this is only 2 years old. And by the way, what's the official name of the team?
Yeah, so the name is Long Beach FC, so Long Beach Football Club. We originally started under the name Shoreline United Football Club, and Shoreline United was the first name that we brought to the team in its life. But then Sebastian and I had a moment where we were like, "Hey, if we really want to make it easy for people in the city to understand who we are and what we're about, should probably be a better route to go in the and name the club after the city that we represent." Shoreline obviously is it's an amazing place in Long Beach, and it's a great place to like take family and things like that. But we wanted to make sure that regardless of where you were in Long Beach, you felt represented by our club. So we ended up shifting the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would imagine the biggest next step on that was we got to find a field or the pitch to play at, right? And that's a
Yeah.
huge part of it too. So talk about that process. Ooh.
Man, the fields. You're
Yeah.
touching that's a touchy subject. That's I think everyone that has played soccer or is involved in soccer in Long Beach knows that the fields are a tricky part because there's a select amount available through the city. There's only a couple, and they're heavily used. There's so many teams out here. There's a lot of youth teams, a lot of Sunday league, Saturday league, Wednesday evening league teams. Um, and then you also have the high schools and the colleges. There's two big colleges, obviously, and there's a handful of high schools. So there, technically, there's a good amount of fields, but the price ranges are all over the place. The availability is all over the place. And sometimes they're not super flexible with districts involved. You can't really add a last minute booking for a playoff game. You need to book that in advance. You need to think of those things. So those are definitely growing pains. That's why it's a touchy subject because we've had our fair share of frustration with fields in general. Yeah.
So where do you guys currently play?
Cabrillo High School.
Okay.
Yeah, Cabrillo High School. And it was great. That was this past season. The season before was at LBCC at their they have two great turf fields. And then the season prior to that, since we didn't have a lot of availability in the city of Long Beach, we actually were forced to go to the Dignity Health Sports Park, one of their practice fields. That was our first season, yeah. So that's in the city of Carson.
Oh,
Yeah.
because your connection with the head coach.
That helped out as well. Yeah, because he also uses those fields, so we were able to get a couple of phone numbers more easily than just having to do a Google search. Yeah.
Any of the players in the are from Long Beach?
Yeah, there's definitely a fair amount of them from Long Beach. A decent amount of the base of the players went to Milliken together. Maybe not all at
Yeah.
the same years, but I know we have a lot of Milliken kids. Um, but yeah, it's cool to hear the stories of some of the players that are like, I'm from Long Beach, you know? So, and when we did start the club, you could tell there was a lot of good energy because there was kind of a void for the players that would want to play at the level that we're trying to offer them to play. And the fact that we were in the city of Long Beach, I think really resonated with them.
Yeah.
And when does the season actually take place, and how many games do you guys play?
Yeah. The league we were in was the UPSL. That league operates twice per year, spring season and a fall season. So we started in spring 24, then we had a fall season 24, and then we did spring 25 just now. So technically, the next step would be fall 25. However, Willie and I decided that we're actually going to skip that one because we want to build more on the club, maybe more off the, outside of the field, off the field, and really get more people involved in the team and build towards our next step. And that would be the USL League Two, USL Two. That division plays during the summer, actually, like towards the end of spring, I think somewhere mid-May until halfway August, I believe.
And that league that you would go to, it'd be a little bit more prestigious type, or
It would be a little bit more competitive, yeah. Yeah, be a
okay.
little bit more competitive. The fact that it falls in the summer, like Sebastian says, means that a lot of the player pool from USL2 teams are players actively in college. So they use it as an opportunity to stay fit as they go into their season in the fall. Uh, but yeah, it should be a step up as far as competition goes, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, and they also have they have multiple divisions. So you have USL 2, then you have USL 1, and then USL Championship. As of now, I think they're even looking into adding another division. But for example, the Orange County team, Orange County SC, they are in the USL Championship. That's like a division below the MLS, I would say, right? So like
Mm.
the second tier in the US right now. So it's basically it's a way bigger operation. It's a bigger footprint in the world of soccer in the US, the USL. So that's why we feel like it's the logical next step for our brand.
Mm. How did you guys do in the spring?
Man. Good, yeah. I think it definitely exceeded my expectations. I think we can pat ourselves on the back for the preparations we put into this season because we identified another good coach. We didn't have Eddie as a coach this season. It was Art Caballero, and he did a tremendous job. And we identified a lot of good players. From Long Beach and a couple of cities around, and we did really well. We finished second. I think we were shy 1 point, unfortunately, of I think the team was Laguna United, and so Battle of the Beaches, and we got close, and then we got into playoffs, and we won the first round in the playoffs against a team that we hadn't won against before, Coachella. So heavy fought or hard fought battle. We won with I think it was 5-3 if I'm not mistaken. And that was a home game. It was the best game I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And then the next game, unfortunately, we lost against LA 10, but that team is also in the final four of the entire UPSL league. So we got beaten by a very good team. Yeah. But my opinion, we did a hell of a job.
And as owners of the team, now going into your, it looks like your fourth year owning the team.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel like you've learned through the process of owning this team, business wise and personally?
Yeah, I think on the personal side of things, I mean, right now, I mean, Sebastian and I take this really seriously, this project really seriously. It's a passion project. So really carving out the time in our lives to make room for it, and sacrifice has been something that we've had to learn both individually on our own, right? When we first started the club, there were four of us. We had two other buddies of ours that were in the program with us, but they have since kind of dropped out. So it's one of those things personally where we've had to learn how to make it work with the current lives that we have. And then I think professionally, the one thing that I've learned is that nothing happens overnight and it's not
Yeah.
linear, you know? I mean, the fields, like, we were like, oh, we're going to be able to find a field in Long Beach our first season. That ended up being the biggest challenge, you know? Finding sponsors, the Legends was a special case for us because of connections that we had with them previously. Um, but finding our next sponsors after that took some time, right? Because nobody knew who we were. Uh, we had to create more touch points with people and stay around longer and increase our longevity so that people are more willing to invest with us and invest with the club. So I think just learning that the growth is going to take time, right? And kind of staying the course that way.
How about you, Sebastian? What have you learned?
Yeah, it definitely it started off as a passion project and now it's a passion job almost, you know. It's a lot of time is dedicated towards it. Or it's still a passion project and we just have a lot of passion. It just depends on how you look at it. But things I learned, yeah, I definitely want to echo what Willie said and just the time management is key with these things. You really need to carve out the time and you get as much as what you put into it, right? So the every season, I feel like we've always stepped up our game and we've dedicated more time towards it. We've dedicated more energy, and we always wanted to improve in our game day experiences on the field as well. We wanted to find the talent. We wanted to support the talent with more supporting staff and just becoming more and more of a professional team. And it just takes a lot of effort and a lot of yeah, sacrifices. Just like what Willie said, it's hard. It's a business, you know. It's running your own small business, and you have to make sacrifices, and there's going to be long nights. But it's worth it, in my opinion. That one game against Coachella was worth the whole season of stress for me, personally. So, and it gives me fuel and energy to keep going to the next season. Yeah.
I would imagine because you guys are running on such a small budget, I imagine that you guys have other employment to pay the bills, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we can hand on heart, we don't make any money from this project. It's costing us money right now. I mean, costing us money sounds a bit harsh, I would say. It's just we we're we're using our own funds in a lot of ways to get ahead of the other teams and just to keep growing. Hopefully one day we have the support, we have enough people wanting to buy a ticket, wanting to buy a scarf or a jersey for a team, and then it's just like a huge club in Long Beach, right?
Mm.
That's the goal, that's the plan. But yeah, right now it's we're taking on summer jobs, summer applications right now. We're doing a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine, and with the, I would imagine, I don't want to speak for it, but I would imagine that you want to get to the point where obviously you want the club to be sustainable
Yeah,
and do that. But more than that, wouldn't it be cool if you guys that this could be your work where you don't have a second
man,
job. This is your only job, and you do that. Imagine the energy and the power that will come from that where you don't have another I would imagine you probably guys work a full-time job and then do this, so there's there you guys spend most of your time doing work, So I would imagine it'd be kind of cool to be in a position where you can hire yourselves, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, one of these days, I think it's gonna take time to get there, but Sebastian and I, we dream a lot, which is important, I
Yeah.
think, especially at this stage. And we were talking about that the other day, like thinking about what it would be like when we can just do this full time. Because I mean, Sebastian alluded to it too. It's like as much as we put in, as much as we get out. And right now, we're finding those extra hours, before work, after work, and just imagining what we could do with the full work day with the club,
Yeah.
5 days a week, 7 days a week would be it's cool to think about, but yeah, definitely one of these days.
It's just uh that's another thing, to get back to your previous point, like what did I learn? Definitely like to dare to dream, dream big, and that's what we've been doing. And that's what we want to grow towards. Like we would love to be self-employed through the club, and have more people employed, be able to provide employment to the city of Long Beach through a professional soccer team. I mean, that would be amazing, right? So if that can happen someday, right now we're already doing a good job with like volunteers and interns. We're working with schools to get them credits, and try to get them some experience in multiple ways. But man, if we can employ ourselves, and especially other people for the club, that's the dream for sure.
So tell me, like, if there's no restrictions on you and there's no restrictions on this club, talk to me about the highest high of your dream. What would the biggest thing this would look like in your dreams, in that would come true? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think definitely a professional club. As far as what league, I mean, the MLS exists, right? So that'd be great. With us joining the USL ecosystem, USL Championship would be amazing. And they're going to open up a tier above that, which I think they're calling USL Division One right now. So yeah, hitting that top of the US soccer pyramid would be I'm even speechless thinking about it, right? Like that would
Yeah.
be from where we came from would be amazing.
Would you be building your own stadium?
Yes,
Man,
yeah.
at that point, yes. At that point, we would need our own stadium in the city of Long Beach somewhere. Because those are the requirements that you need, right?
Yeah.
To be of that level.
And we wouldn't even need to be at the highest level in the US soccer to have our own stadium. I guess, if we reach professional soccer, I think that's already a discussion worth to be had. And then another thing I would love to happen is building connections overseas with teams in Europe, teams all over the world, and just having connections so we can get our players overseas. We can maybe still be a stepping stone for them, for talent in Long Beach, for talent in SoCal, and showcasing them and helping them in their careers. Yeah, I think that would be amazing too.
All right, I have two fun questions for you that I want to roll out to you. One is what would you tell yourselves? I want both of you guys to answer this question if you can. What would you tell yourselves if you could have a conversation with yourselves 4 years earlier? What were a couple things you would tell yourselves?
Huh.
I think I think I would say focus on the bigger picture and don't get lost in the weeds, in the small things. And bigger picture, I mean finding sponsors, finding key people that can help push your dream, or help uh, put into fruition, like making it an actual thing, instead of getting lost in the little things that actually don't matter. That's what I would tell myself, and I probably save a lot of time.
Willie, how about you?
I would say, oh, that's a good question. I would say keep working hard, but take a step back and look at how far you've come every once in a while. I think, especially with I mean, it's just Sebastian and I, so we're always planning. We're always trying to figure out what's next. We're always trying to grow this tree of a club of ours, right? But sometimes sit back and be like, wow, we have fans.
Yeah.
And we merged before we have
Yeah.
stands. People get mad for our team in the stands. Like we've created something that people have emotion attached to, and it's important to remember that.
Yeah.
Like it's and not take that for granted.
Yeah.
All right, I love that. You're really, I think you're talking about having perspective, looking at, looking at those wins. I get where you guys are coming from. Like you have all this tremendous pressure on growing. You got a lot of work ahead of you. Obviously, I'm not saying anything you guys already don't know, but appreciate where you came from. You've made a
Yeah.
lot of progress in those 4 years, and it's okay to step back a second and say, you know
Yeah.
what, we're doing good, and pat
Yeah.
yourselves on the back on doing that. I think it's extremely important for the motivation to keep going forward. You got to enjoy that journey. You got to enjoy the now.
Yes.
I know it's everything for you guys is future, but got to
Yeah.
enjoy what you guys are building. You're building something great. So yeah, to take that time and just step back a second and go, wow, look at what we already built.
Yeah. I
I think it's extremely important.
definitely the thing like sometimes I forget the first season. So Willie was saying that we actually did really well the first season as well with appointing the new coach, right? We actually won a cup, we won medals, and sometimes I just gotta remind myself. And the medal is hanging here at my desk, and the trophy I think is at Willie's house, or no, we put him at Legends, I think. Yeah, they're somewhere.
I think they're
But
still at my place, but
okay,
yeah.
there we go. Yeah. And it just like sometimes I look at the medal and I'm like, we did that. We did win. And you really got to remember those moments and it's the beauty of it all. That's why you do it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I really need you guys to use your imagination with this next question I'm going to ask you. Okay, just play with me on this. If this was 15 years from now, what you're 15 years older and you're talking to yourselves now, what would the two 15-year-old people, Willie and Sebastian, what would these 15-year-old older people tell Sebastian and Willie right now about what would be the best advice possible?
Man.
Wow. Um, I'd like to think that conversation is being had inside Long Beach FC Stadium, inside a suite, uh,
Yeah.
where Sebastian and I are hanging out. Um, I think I would say just keep going. Just keep going. And I think along the lines of what Sebastian was saying earlier, of not sweating the small things so much, um, and just keep kind of ticking off the to-do list, and we'll get there. Um, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think what I was thinking of was the more like the networking part. Because to be honest, most of our success through sponsorships or marketing efforts or just getting people to our games or any small wins we've had, community partners, it was always through communication to word of mouth and to talking to people and to talking to your network. And I feel like you're only like two, three people away from a solution, two, three connections away from the person you actually want to reach, right? And that's definitely something I've seen in the past like 2, 3 years that we've been working on this club. And I think that's something that I would probably tell myself 15 years from now as well, because who knows, maybe we're 2, 3 chats away from talking to some MLS pro that play or ex-pro or a coach someone in Long Beach that has a passion for soccer, but we just don't know about it. And they want to help out or they want to volunteer or whatever. I think that would be something I would tell myself. and to relax and not stress too much.
Yeah, that's extremely important, and it's hard to do, but it is true. It is true. Things are going to work out one way or another. Things will work out, and you
Yeah,
both know. I know you both know that. But sometimes when you're in the weeds of things and looking at fields and in the day to day, like I think Willie said earlier, is not get caught up in that minutia on some of these
yeah,
problems that you're not going to be worried about a month from now, right? These are small problems that are going to have a solution within a couple weeks. So they're not really that big a problem, and
yeah,
really understand
yeah.
what's really important and what's a problem that, yeah, this really is annoying, but I'm going to find a way. It's not going to be a problem within weeks or so.
Definitely. Yeah.
So share with the audience things that you want the city of Long Beach and the surrounding areas to know about your club.
Yeah, I mean we are Long Beach Football Club. Sebastian and I built the club on four like key principles, core values. We call them our four palms. Um, the first one is growth. We're committed to the process of growth. We see our club being a professional club one day, but we know that's not going to happen overnight. The second one is community, just like Sebastian was talking to, networking and things like that, or even just seeing the passion that our fans have had at our games just means the world to us. The third one is excellence. We expect that of ourselves as owners. We expect that as our coach or our players, anybody, interns, things like that. So we appreciate what excellence can do for us on the pitch and off the pitch. Um, and the last one is the beautiful game, right? That's why Sebastian and I are doing this as a passion project. That's why he and I get together outside of this and just watch the game or go to games because we
Yeah.
we enjoy it and we appreciate the chance to not introduce, but be a pillar of the beautiful game in the city of Long Beach. But that's what I would want people to know about us.
Yeah. I
Gotcha.
think the next couple of months are really going to be all about like community and growth. We really want to grow towards that USL2 team, and we really want to be involved in the community so people are aware of us, are aware of our club and our teams, and that we hopefully can get the support of the community. And we're looking right now, we just have a men's team, but we're looking into adding a women's team down the future, a whole youth compartment. So we're like a full professional club and not just a men's team. So hopefully we get some support, but we're also going to do whatever we can to show support to the community and show ourselves into Long Beach and being part of the community.
And how can people get to know more about your club, buy tickets, buy merch? How can they do that?
Yeah, so we I mean, a lot of our communication right now is on Instagram. So following us on Instagram at Long Beach FC __ is the best place to go. Checking out our website is longbeachfootballclub.com, the place where we have all of our merch for sale. When we have a season, that's where tickets are sold. It's where you can learn about our community partners. It's where you can learn about what's new with the club. We have a team news section where we write blog posts about partnerships that
Yeah.
we're doing or updates with the club. But those are the key ways to get involved with us from the club level.
So if somebody wants to help sponsor your club, that would be the best way to do is go to the website.
Go to the website. You can also reach out to us directly as well. But yeah, those are the great places to go.
Yeah, we
Cool.
can, I think there's a way, maybe we could share email that you can reach out to and we'll get right back at you. Yeah.
Right on, right on. Well, guys, it's been such a pleasure getting to know you guys, and I know that I definitely guys want to have you back, because I think this is just the
Thank you.
start of it, and I know eventually what's going to happen is it's going to be harder and harder to book you because you guys are going to have so many interviews. So
Hopefully.
remember that I was one of your first, so
You
help
know,
me out a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right
Well,
on. So before I let you guys go, I always like to end with a kind of fun little question. Um, Where do you like to eat around town? I know one of them's going to be Legends, but Legends and where else? So I'll start with you, Sebastian.
Man, good question. I do like I love Long Beach's food selection. There's a lot of good stuff out here. Obviously Legends is like a nice quick bite, right? But let me see. Where was I recently that I really love? Okay, I do like burgers, and I gotta say, there's two spots I really like. There's the window at the end of the pink building at the end of Second or the beginning of Second Street, depending on where you're coming from. I do like that one. Good burgers. And then there's and I forgot the name, but it's you can get bacon jam burgers at the golf course at I think it's Bixby Golf Course.
It's
Um,
called Crack Burger.
Crack Burger, there we go. Man, that man knows how to get a real nice bacon jam burger together. And I love going there. You get the glasses are like from the freezer. It's ice cold drinks. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So th those are probably two that like guilty pleasures.
Right on. Willie, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, we always got to shout out Legends, just because they've always been there for us, and
Yeah.
we actually meet up a lot at Legends, even just to talk,
Yeah.
just to catch up. But another place I really enjoy to eat when I have some time and when I have a little bit of extra money is Saint on Second. Just amazing food, really good steak frites. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, I love Saint on Second.
So it seems to me you guys live close to the Belmont Shore area.
Yeah. That basically downtown, both of us, right? Like we're
Yeah,
I'm close
yeah.
to shoreline or ocean. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah,
Right.
we are.
Well, guys, I got to tell you, it's been a pleasure getting to know you guys a little bit better. I know I've met you a couple times at Century Club meetings, but you
Yeah.
know what? It takes guts to do action. A lot of people have dreams. A lot of people have things that they want to do, they want to accomplish. But you guys have taken action. And you guys should be extremely proud of yourselves for taking the action
Thank you.
and getting to the level that you guys are at right now. Because it wasn't the I just talking with you and just knowing what I know about business and knowing what I know about professional sports. This, what you guys are undertaking is not an easy feat.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was people telling you that the odds of this, the odds of that, the odds of this, and you guys said, "Okay, great. I'm still going to do it." Because you just never know what you don't know until you do it. And you guys are doing it, and as a result, you already are successful, but you're going to be even more successful. So keep going, guys. I'm very
Man.
proud that you guys have getting the workout and doing the thing.
Man, Paul, thanks. That no, that's nice. That's why we do it, man. And it gives me energy to go to the next season again. And honestly, like I feel like it's the same what you're doing with the podcast. I'm assuming this is something that you really enjoy doing as well. So you must know how it feels. And I
Well, I work
appreciate
with
it,
high
man.
school and college athletes on the mind. So
Yep.
what Willie was telling earlier, I really, really know about that, and
Yeah.
just feeling this. It's just, yeah,
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. We appreciate you.
no problem.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a Long Beach thing.